these great aircraft the way into the boneyard. It just doesn't feel right. Anyway, it's an end of an era that spanned over 4 decades of peacetime and combat operations in truly every climate and place. Where did the 53D come from? Well, it traces roots back to 1962, when the U.S. Navy's Bureau of Weapons, acting on behalf of the Marines, issued a request for a heavy helicopter experimental aircraft, designated HHX. Sikorsky was awarded that contract, and in July of 1962, delivered a total of 141 CH-53 Alpha aircraft. The aircraft designated YCH-53 Alpha performed its initial flight at Sikorsky plant in Stratford, Connecticut on 14 October 1964. The aircraft entered Marine Corps service September of 1965 and was designated 53 Alpha C Stallion. Many of us had the opportunity to fly the Slick with the 6 Bravo, and we scored an aircraft. The platform was described as an extremely powerful, agile aircraft, crewed by 4, capable of carrying 38 masts and 24 litters, and internal cargo of 8,000 pounds, or external cargo at 13,000 pounds, to a range of 100 nautical miles. The Sea Stallion would prove herself in combat during Vietnam. The 53 Alpha conducted tactical recovery of aircraft and personnel, troop inserts, mine sweeping, mobilized the battlefield with its heavy lift capability. 53's combat performance led the Marine Corps to pursue an improved variant leading to the 53 Delta. The Delta's improvements included more powerful engines, improved transmissions, the first 6-bladed elastomeric main rotor head, reinforced interior to come out to 55 combat troops. The first CH-53D Juno 156654 was delivered to the Marine Corps on 5 March of 1969. Between 1969 and 1984, a total of 126 CH-53 Deltas were built and delivered to the United States Marine Corps. The CH-53 Sea Stallion was affectionately referred to as the shitter, as a shitter, by the Marines who maintained and tactically operated her due to the black exhaust trail produced by the aircraft in flight. The 53D was a crucial aviation element in the Vietnam operations end sweep, which was the mine removal from Haiphong Harbor during 1973, Eagle Pole, the evacuation of Phnom Penh, Cambodia in 1975, and Frequent Wind, the evacuation of Saigon in 1975. Juno 157159 recently transferred to the Naval Aviation Museum in Pensacola, participated in Operation Eagle Pole. We thank the Ugly Angels for that flawless transition. The 53D aircraft earned its place as the Marine Corps' premier heavy lift platform. In 1981, the CH-53 Echo was introduced as an upgraded replacement for the 53 Delta. And most HMH squadrons at that time transitioned and converted to the 53 Echo. And by the early 1990s, all remaining CH-53Ds were consolidated into 3 operational squadrons and 1 training squadron under MAG-24 headquarters stationed aboard Marine Corps Base Hawaii right here at Kaneohe Bay. During the 1990s, the CH-53D supported Marines in the Pacific as part of the Unit Deployment Program, deploying to Subic Bay, Clark Air Force Base, the Philippines, Okinawa, Japan. And the aircraft also participated in military operations Restore Hope in Mogadishu, 1993, Uphold Democracy in Haiti, 94-95, Joint Task Force Full Accounting, which locates, identifies, and returns remains of U.S. personnel in MIA status from Vietnam. Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom returned the CH-53D to a combat environment where the aircraft continues to prove its value in the harsh desert environment of the Middle East today. In 2004, 4 CH-53Ds attached to 31st MU saw service in Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And in 2006, HMH 463 was tasked to support Operation Iraqi Freedom, based out of Al Asad Air Base, in fluent support of Marines at the Al-Anbar province, the Triangle of Death, and began continuous combat operations for the CH-53D and will not let up until she flies her last flight this fall.
Well, good morning, everyone, and what a glorious morning it is, an historic day. Thanks to everyone for being here with us. A special thanks to those who traveled some distance to be here. I appreciate it. We're looking at an aircraft that first flew in January of 1969, first flew with Marine Corps colors in March of 1969. has accumulated almost 900,000 flight hours over the course of those 43 years. But I got to tell you, when you look at that mighty aircraft out there, it's not the box. It's not the box that's important. It's the people that are important. And at this stage in my career, I know that what's most important about the Marine Corps is not the things, it's the people. It's the Marines and sailors that work on that box, that man that box, that fly that box, that perform the missions associated with that aircraft.
This aircraft has served in truly every climb and place that Marines have gone, and it's literally a workhorse. This particular aircraft has logged over 8,100 operational flight hours, which equates to Marines have touched this aircraft, cared for this aircraft, and loved this aircraft. 400,000 maintenance man hours to produce those 8,000 operational hours. A lot of combat experience, again, all the way from Vietnam. And we just recently transitioned from Iraq to Afghanistan, and she'll fly her last missions in Afghanistan in the fall of 2012 by HMH-362, the Ugly Angels. She served us proud, and we're going to put her away the same way, with honor.
Deployed twice to the Helmand River Valley, flying that machine right there, the 53 Delta. Got me back home every time I took it out, so good experience, great aircraft.
This airplane has kept us safe for a long time, and we've delivered many Marines and cargo and ammunition to Marines in combat, so it's done its job, and we're going to miss this airframe.
It's the only helicopter for me. I've flown in Iraq as well as all across the Pacific, and it is just going to be heartbreaking to me to see them pack her up and put her away. It's great to honor such a tremendous platform and aircraft that has served the Marine Corps for 43 years.
My son is flying the escort helicopter today, Captain Benjamin Hartley, and he's my boy.
And did you have anything to do with the birth of this child?
Oh, I'm just a spectator.
Oh, are you?
I'm Major General Dave Byler, Commanding General 1st Marine Aircraft Wing. I'm here with Colonel Retired
J.J. Bear, formerly CEO of HMH-363, a CH-53 pilot for 20 plus years. Yeah.
Back years ago, we were MOTS instructors together as captains at MOTS 1 in Yuma, Arizona. I think the first time we met was on a ship going across the Atlantic.
Yes, it was.
For a Bow Guard exercise back in, let's see, that was in '84. Anyhow, we're both here for the Sundown ceremony for the venerable CH-53D Sea Stallion. We're looking at one right out here on the flight line. We're waiting for a couple 53s to show up and fly by here. But celebrating 43 years of operational excellence.
Great stuff.
You flew the airplane.
That's right. I started flying the CH-53.
How many hours do you got?
I have 3,000 hours
Okay.
in
I've got
CH-53s. Yes.
I've got 12.
Tell us about those 12 hours, sir.
So inept and behind the power curve as when I was in that airplane. A lot going on.
I'm sure I would have been the same in an F-18 too. Yeah.
Did she fly well, sir?
Oh yeah, great airplane. Really good. Well liked by the people that flew it. Obviously far more than I did.
Yeah, it was a challenge for a lot of, mostly the maintenance guys. The maintenance guys really, if anybody should be given kudos for keeping the 53 around as long as they did, it's the maintenance and the maintainers and the Marines who are working on it. They really had to work hard on this airplane, keep it flying. And when it was flying, it was a great thing. It really could carry a lot of gear, a lot of Marines, and it did it well. And I felt fortunate to be able to fly it. I flew A's, D's, E's. Actually flew a Navy version RH at one time. I didn't get in the MH for the Air Force, but flew basically all of them.
The sundown ceremony, we tend to focus, at least on the surface, we're looking at the airframe. We're focused on the airplane, and it's the box. I think I used the term box. It's the box is not important. It's the people that maintain the box, get the box ready to fly, and those that get in it and fly it that are important. So the reunion, you know, the cover has a picture of the airframe, and the reunion's centered around the CH-53D. But it's really about bringing people together in a forum like this where you can share stories and see people that you haven't seen in years and years and years. And that's what it's all about. That's what the Marine Corps is about. And you know, young Marines are enamored with equipment, and old Marines are enamored with people.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pacific Aviation Museum. On behalf of the commanding officer of MAG 24, Colonel Richard L. Caputo, welcome.
The chance really to witness, you know, and in a very small way, be a part of the camaraderie, the spirit, the pride of all the Marines that are here, active, retired. It's truly fantastic. Truly, there's a cherished legacy and a bright future. And I'd like to wish all an early happy 100th anniversary of Marine aviation. I'm also privileged to be here to represent Sikorsky Aircraft. I hope that each of you could know that we too share a camaraderie and a spirit of pride in our legacy as well. And that legacy is about providing the best aircraft to our customers so that they can safely carry out their missions. We're proud of our products. And today we recognize and retire one of our classics, the CH-53 Delta. It's not the oldest or the biggest or the fastest, but it's certainly one of the toughest and one of the best. 40 years old, still going strong. And I've heard it over and over again these last couple days from a number of folks that I had a chance to talk with, you know, our customer that is still doing the job, and we're proud of that. And so to me, our legacies are entwined, because in the end, it's not about the hardware itself, it's about what it can help the people who use it accomplish. And so Sikorsky's true legacy is really about supporting the legacy of the United States Marine Corps and all our other customers around the world.
One of the aircraft which has served her nation, Corps, state, and community is behind me on my right shoulder here, 157173. This aircraft was accepted by the Marine Corps on 30 September of 1970. She joined her first squadron, the Iron Horse of 461, which I know we have a few vets out there from that squadron, January of 71. Over her service life, she served in 32 squadrons. Amazing. Her final flight was 23 January 2012. Another shout out to the Uglies for making that happen. She shut down here on Ford Island for enshrinement in our own Pacific Aviation Museum. She accumulated over 8,100 operational flight hours. Please join me in a transfer of CH-53D 157173 as we recognize all the Marines and sailors who kept her in the sky for 40 years, and we turn her over to the museum.
Thank you, Colonel. On behalf of the Board of Directors, the staff, and the volunteers of the Pacific Aviation Museum, we're honored to have you here tonight. In a way, it takes a helicopter pilot to say those words too. I flew that one right behind your shoulder, the Cobra, while this one was being built in 1970. We accept helicopter 157173. We're honored to introduce it into our fleet of aircraft. This is an appropriate place to do it here at Hangar 79. You're sitting in a hangar that's about 2 acres, 86,000 feet. Those are bullet holes you see in the glass that we honor, that we're still here, and that those that were adversaries are no longer. We're grateful to have this helicopter delivered to us because it's being delivered into good hands. Let me show you some of those good hands. I think we have some volunteers that want to come forward. These are volunteers and staff of the Pacific Aviation Museum. A number of them are Marines. 2 of them actually flew this helicopter, or this type of helicopter. So I want to tell you, this helicopter is going to be taken care of well, because there's folks here on the ground that appreciate that helicopter and appreciate what the Marines do every day. Thank you very much.
My name is Ted Allen, retired Master Gunnery Sergeant, Maintenance Chief of MAG 24, Kaneohe, Hawaii. My relationship with the CH-53 has been for over 30 years. I've been in the Marine Corps since 1977, and this was my first duty station. And you know what? When it came down to actually supporting the Marines that were on the ground, it was the CH-53. It was a heavy hauler, is what they called it. And she's been doing a great job ever since, you know. And unfortunately today we have to say, you know, goodbye to a legacy. And if you just take a look at her, you know, she looks just as pretty today as she did 35, 40 years ago, as a matter of fact. You know. We're gonna miss her. But her sister, the CH-53 Echo, hopefully she'll do just as good a job.
I know, but she has to earn it.
She has to earn it.
And
because this is a legacy that cannot be duplicated.
You're right, sir. You're right. Well, you had the privilege of flying her and maintaining her and establishing a relationship with her, and that's a privilege.
All of the above.
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
and then some.
Yes.
Well, I'm pleased to have Swede here as a part of the Board of Directors to help us accept helicopter 157173. And we'll take this helicopter, we'll clean it up, and we'll make the Marines proud that it's here for us.
I'll tell you, it's a pleasure to be here, not only part of the Board of Directors, but I'm pretty sure I flew that helicopter. I was in HMH 362, and I was also in HMH 463 during my career. And I was maintenance officer in 463 and a flight officer in 362 back in the 70s and early 80s with 463. And I love this airplane. It's done a great service to our nation throughout its whole career. So we are very, very fortunate to have this aircraft accepted on behalf of the Pacific Aviation Museum.
I'm
I'm Mike Torok, and I've worked at Sikorsky for about 20 so years. I'm the chief engineer for marine programs.
Is that right?
And so I spend most of my time actually working on the 53K, trying to build the aircraft that's going to follow in the footsteps of this aircraft. Well, it's always a fascinating thing to come out. We were out at a ceremony on the base yesterday, and some of the folks were telling us about, we're in the aircraft. They don't have the ramp door. They took it off the aircraft. And so we're designing, of course, a ramp door for the K, and they say, well, it's weight, we don't need it, we leave it open all the time. So you can't get that information in a book, you can't get that information in documents. So really to have that hands-on with the folks who really use the aircraft, it's invaluable to us. And the 53K is all around trying to take all those lessons from all the other heavy lift aircraft and give them something better than they've ever had before.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Ray Rich. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm the MALS 24 commanding officer, and my relationship with the CH-53 Delta is that my squadron provides all aviation logistics support that's required for the CH-53 Delta to fly. I have to say, I have ambivalent feelings about today because a great aircraft it's going away. It's fought from Vietnam to Desert Storm to Iraq. It's fought all over the globe. It's provided great support to the little green men on the ground and all the combat warriors. And it's sad to see it go, but we have a bunch of capable aircraft to make sure that its legacy never dies. And we have the 53K Delta, 53K aircraft coming up here in the next few years, and we'll never let the 53 Delta's memory die.
Well, my name is Charmaine, and I feel an honor to be here. And 53 not only takes care of the Marines, but it takes care of the families too, because it takes care of the Marines, it gets them there, and it gets them home.
Yes, it does.
To the spouses and the families.
Yes, it does.
It's
Yes.
a whole family thing.
Okay, well, we're here to talk about the 53D, and you've heard about all the facts, figures. First time I ever saw that sucker, I was absolutely awestruck. I said, this thing is, it's big, it's powerful, it's just, God, it's a C-130 with rotors on it, is what it is. The first time I ever rode in one, I was in heaven. I got to fly one of these, which I eventually did. So it's been around for a long time, and it's not done yet. But the beauty of this bird is it has done so much for so many years, and that little sucker is not done yet. I mean, it's got another tour to do in Afghanistan, and it's going to be back. And I am so glad that when the band was out, and a wonderful band, when the band was out here playing, they did not play Auld Lang Syne. I really appreciated the Flight of the Valkyries, like macho songs, not Good Night Irene or things of that nature. When you're going to put the little sucker down. As we say goodbye to this thing, we got to keep in mind that, as we've all said, it's a great bird. It's a wonderful bird. It's an awesome bird. But the bird was only as good as the Marines that flew it and the Marines that maintained it. Without that, they ain't nothing.